So we are going to start this semester in Drawing 1 by just doing a quick review of value. So it's where we're starting. It is really the foundation of every project that we are going to do this semester. Every project has value. We're going to shade it. If you had, excuse me, if you had Intro to Art this year, you did a lot of work with value. We did a bunch of projects, you practiced shading a lot, but if you had Intro to Art last year or even prior to that, we briefly touched on value, but we didn't spend as much time on it as we have this year. So I wanted to review a bit, do a little bit of practice. That way you could kind of refresh your memory. You could maybe give things another go if they didn't go so well last semester for you potentially. Oh, sorry. Okay, so I have here a photo, or a drawing actually, of still life objects. It doesn't really matter that they're objects and not a person. It all is the same vocabulary here. So we see that the light is coming down on the left side of these apples here, and they have these really bright spots where the light is hitting them. Even like over here is really light, right here, and that is called the highlight. The highlight is the lightest part, where the light source hits it. The opposite of the highlight, the opposite side here, is the shadow side. That's where there's little to no light. It's opposite of the highlight. So if my light source is on the left and all my highlights are on the left, then all my shadows are going to be on my right. All right, down on this table here, it's pretty dark, and that shadow is being created by the bananas, by the fruit bowl, and that is your cast shadow. And it's made by the objects, and it too is opposite the highlights and the light source. So lights on the left, cast shadows on the right. The only thing we have left here is this bowl, and what I'm pointing out here is the value change on this bowl, how it's going from light to middle gray to dark gray, and we call that a gradient. And a gradient is the transition from dark to light. All right, so value itself is the lightness or darkness of color. In this case, in this drawing here, we're looking from black to white, but that could be from dark red to white, dark green to white, any color. All right, let's do a little value scale here. So you're going to need your ebony pencil, you're going to need your blending tool, and you're probably going to need an eraser. All right, so we have black to white here. So I'm gonna start in this far left box, and I'm pressing as hard as I can, filling this with ebony because I know that this is black and I want it to be as dark as possible. This up a little bit. Okay, one step up. We have quite a few values here, so we've got to make some subtle changes. We can't just jump right into like light gray. The pressure on my pencil has changed a little bit, so it's just a little bit lighter and a little bit lighter. Ugh, that's too light. It's like too much of a jump. I'm gonna go back over it. That seems better. And now a little bit lighter. And I'm getting to the point where like, oh, I'm barely even holding on to this ebony. I'm probably gonna switch to using my blending tool to make this lighter. Because I have one more value here and it's just barely gray. I'm gonna darken this one a little bit, which means I need to darken this one. All right, so everything is nice and clean. Nothing popping out of my edges. I've colored inside the lines. I'm seeing a logical jump from one value to the next. They're kind of going up in steps, going from black, and this last one is totally white. All right, definitely pause if you need a minute to do that. The light source. So we already talked about light sources when we talked about highlights up here. The light source is coming from the blank. The light source is coming from the left. I can tell because my highlights are on the left, or my shadows are on the right. Gosh, I can't write today. Either one. Highlights on the left, shadows on the right. That means my light source is on the left-hand side. All right, so looking at this drawing up here, there is good contrast because areas like the highlights on the apples are white, and areas like the cast shadows under the bananas are, so if we have contrast, that's two opposites. So the opposite of white would be black. Really nice contrast in this drawing. We have a wide range of values, but the highlights pop, the shadows are really dark. That makes it seem very realistic. All right, the next one down here, blank is achieved in this drawing because there is a wide range of blank. So depth is the word we're looking for. Depth is achieved because there is a wide range of value. We can tell what's closer and farther because of cast shadows and forms. So our wide range of values has created this illusion for us that these objects appear to be three-dimensional. The way that they have arranged it and then the way that they have created the light and shadow, tells us that this cast shadow is flat on a table, that the bowl is pushed back a little bit because the shadow is in front of it, that the shadow is behind this like highlighted area. Like we're getting all these things kind of working together with value and contrast to create this illusion of depth and three-dimensionality. I don't know, whatever we want to call it here. All right, so front page, good to go. I will make another video for the next section.